Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com, and welcome to Hump Day, and gold is up again. Silver just went positive. The Dow trying to recover a little bit. It's been on their back heels, up, but not very much. Up about 40 points right now. Crude oil up again. Jason, we had crude oil inventory numbers, draws again across the board. A huge drop in the amount of oil in the strategic oil reserve. Last week they said 8 million more barrels came out, and the oil reserve now at the lowest levels in almost 40 years as we keep trying to supplement this market. And it doesn't really seem to be working, I guess. I guess if you want to celebrate gas at around $4, then I guess it's working.
That is correct, Joe. You want $4 gas and $5 gas? Hang on to your hats. 2023 is not too far away. And then, where will it be? 6? We don't know. We don't know what the end goal is.
I just want to know that. So now we know they extended the release of the reserves till the middle of October. That'll put us at the lowest level since we filled the thing over 40 plus years ago. And we're running out of capacity to keep putting 7-8 million barrels. As an example, come October, we'll have less than a year's worth of reserve at 7 million barrels a week. So if you said, hey, every day we're going to release 1 million barrels out of the strategic oil reserve, which is kind of what we're doing right now. We'd run out. The reserve would be empty by a year from October. So I don't know that there's going to be another extension, because at a certain point you're like, okay, that's probably not the best idea. I just want to know where the other 1 million barrels are going to come from once we stop. That's the big question.
That's always the question, why stop production in the United States to begin with? Why shut down, strategic pipelines? Why push for green energy when you need a lot more oil? And why deal with Russia the way they are in Europe? It's, why, Joe? Why?
Why? Ask why. Just be happy. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Hey, here's good news. So natural gas hit $10 yesterday. It's at about 9.25 right now. So it fell about 75 cents. Only because, remember, people forget, there's that explosion at that terminal in Texas that has prevented us from shipping more natural gas to Europe. It's actually helped with the price. The reason why, the funny part is, the reason why natural gas actually fell, outside of the last 7 weeks, when it was falling earlier this summer, it was because of that explosion, and it was supposed to be down 3 months. Well, we got an update yesterday. It's going to be a little longer. They're going to be another 2 or 3 weeks before they can start shipping more natural gas. So that got us a little reprieve, at least for a little bit. Once that terminal reopens, I fully expect natural gas prices to reach all-time record highs. So the energy crisis not going away, maybe just shifting a little bit. Okay, we're going to save you a little bit on gasoline for right now. But you're going to be paying a lot more this winter when it comes to heating the home. And really, I think at the end of the day, Jason, anything you saved at the pump, you're going to lose on your energy bill. And then, unfortunately, come October, that savings you were having at the pump is going to go away if we don't continue to draw down the strategic reserve.
When the gas prices went down the last couple of months, I didn't see the price of food going down or some other things. So whatever you were maybe gaining at the pump, you may have just lost at the grocery store. It doesn't seem like there's a much gain going on here, Joe, except for a little bit of lower price at the pump.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have my son Joey's going to be joining us, and really important right now to be prepared financially. Everybody, and I don't say everybody, a lot of people out there, we got these 401ks. Nobody knows what to do with them. You check a box. You probably, for a lot of people, they may have checked the box 10 years ago and have never checked again. He's going to be joining us here in the next segment because it's going to be something where a few changes, simple changes, can save you a ton of money, especially, Jason, we're in this rate hike environment. We're in this green energy environment. So, everyone needs to expect to start paying more. The most important thing is getting your financial house in order. And Joey's going to have some things out there that are going to allow people to do this. Listen, why lose 20 or 30% when you can make a few changes and hey, maybe I only lost 5%, or who knows, I made enough changes or the right changes. Hey, you know what? I didn't lose at all. The market went down, but I didn't lose. It's invaluable. It's really, I think, the biggest reason a lot of people who, hey, I've been fortunate. I put it in my 401k for 40 years. I've never touched it. I've always continued to add, yet somehow I'm not a millionaire. A lot of it has to do with not having the right allocation. So we're going to be back. Joey's going to be with us coming up next. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Gold's moving here up another $10 this morning, $17.57. We've got Joey joining us today. Here's the thing. I need Joey to help you make more money. That way you can buy more gold, right? That's the whole idea of it all. And Joey, 401ks. We got to talk about it because, people don't have a lot of choices with the 401k. Whatever your work offers, that's what you have. But the biggest problem is most people don't know how to adjust their 401k portfolio to make sure that they're keeping as much of their money as possible. And now with this rate hike environment that we're in, the chances are the vast majority of people out there don't have the right 401k allocation.
Yeah, that is completely true. Regarding people's 401ks, it's kind of something you do when you first start your job at your employer, and you fill out a little spreadsheet, and then that's just how your investments sit for the rest of your career. And most people never think to go back into their HR department or talk to them about their benefits package and how their 401k is allocated. And in times like this, when the market is down and you're being overly aggressive, you're going to be taking that 20% hit you were talking about earlier. That's something I can certainly help you with. It doesn't cost you anything, not a dime. It's just going to cost you 10 minutes, 30 minutes of your time to talk with me and my team. And we'll kind of look at it. You'll send us a statement of your 401k, and then we'll kind of suggest, hey, we should be more allocated, less aggressive, or should set ourselves up to be more aggressive depending on the time horizon of the market. The biggest thing I'm seeing is people in their 40s, 30s, 50s being all out aggressive, and they're just taking these huge 20% hits. And as we know, we're spending that money down in retirement, and to lose 20% of your money the year you retire is just awful. And people are selling. They have to sell, right, because they have to live on this money every month. So it's talking with us, taking advantage of our resources, and we'll help you sort that out and allocate it the way you need it to be. That way, hey, when we're down the market like this, instead of losing 20, we're losing 5, right? And then we get aggressive when the market starts to rebound, so we get that 8 to 10% gain. It's just a conversation. It's free of cost to you. Then it's a great way for us to start a relationship and continue working together. As we kind of monitor that 401k every 6 months, we'll check in with you and see how it's allocated and if it's being allocated correctly.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point, because at some point the rate hiking cycle will come to an end. And at that point, right? It's probably a good time. Hey, let's look at it again, and let's make changes again. Because I see it all the time. You know, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, the stock market." You know, go back a few years ago, the stock market was up 40%, but your 401k was only up 15 or 20, and it has to do with allocation.
It's all to do with allocation. You know, for the market to be up 40%, you go up 15. It means a lot of your money is in fixed income or bonds. It means you're playing very, very conservative. But, you know, when that rate hiking's done and the market's recovering, it's a good time to readjust and be a lot more aggressive. And, you know, and it's hard to do that when you're working every day, you're taking care of your family. I do this every day, 12 hours a day, in the office, constantly looking at things. So yeah, would love to just continue relationships with people, and handling and helping out and allocating 401k is a great way for us to kind of continue and start that relationship. Like I said, free of cost. It's just going to take 30 minutes of your time.
How do people get a hold of you, Joey?
Just reach me at my cell phone. My number is 602-909-9048. Again, my cell phone is 602-909-9048. Or you can go onto the KHNC website, and my information is all up there as well. And there should be a link to my LinkedIn profile to kind of check out what we offer too.
Yeah, they can go on to Joey's business cards up there, go to the sponsor section of the website, you click on it, and all Joey's information's there for you. But if you have a 401k, this is free. Reach out. Think about if somebody could have been helping you for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, you're talking potentially about people could have 2 or 3 times more money in their 401k if they knew when and how to reallocate. And this is all free. This is no cost. All as it is, like Joey said, hey, you got to call him. He's gonna need a statement, a 401k statement from you, a couple of other questions, and then Joey, it's really just a matter of you going to your HR department, getting a 401k form, and saying, hey, here's my new allocation. Right? It really isn't that difficult.
No, it really isn't difficult. It's a couple phone calls, couple meetings, and probably a total of 2 hours, an hour of your time. It's super easy to do. I know it's something that people put on the back burner because they think, oh, retirement's 10 years away, 20 years away. If we're advantageous about this and we really care about how we're set up for retirement, this is something we should be doing and looking at least every year. I would say at least every 6 months. Just to make sure we're allocated correctly, our money is safe, and it's growing at the same time. It's just terrible to see when I talk with people in their 50s, and they're like, hey, Joe, I'm in all equities right now. And I'm like, well, that's why you're down 30%, and you've lost 30% of your money 5 years before you're about to retire. It's just making sure we're being proactive, and we're taking a closer look at things. And like I said, it's free. Just take some time. But it's definitely well worth it. I find that most people that are on top of their 401ks end up hitting their retirement goal and actually succeeding it and being able to spend more money per month in retirement, living a better life. So, yeah, like I said, just shoot me a call, 602-909-9048, and we'd love to just have a conversation around things and see if I can just be a resource for you.
Right, and this is on top of all the other stuff Joey does. Obviously the life insurance, the long-term care stuff, all the financial planning stuff. But today we really wanted to focus on the 401ks because obviously the first half of this year it was a hammering. We had a little what I'll call a summer rally. That rally looks like it's over. The rate hiking cycle continuing and going to continue. So this is a great time to get yourself reallocated. And like Joey said, hey, we're just talking about, hey, let's limit the losses and then maximize the gains and stay on this every 6 months or every year as these markets change. We know what's happening. Listen, the Fed is going to tell us at some point, hey, guess what? The rate hiking cycle is going to come to an end and we can take advantage. But September's very important. So you got to really move quickly because the Federal Reserve, September starts where they're going to really maximize reducing the balance sheet. So they're going to double the amount of bonds that they've been selling over the last couple of months, which is why, Joey, we've seen, especially in the last week, interest rates really starting to rise. And with the Fed really getting aggressive on the balance sheet reduction starting in September, looks like these rates are going to go a lot higher, which can be very, very bad if you're not allocated properly.
Yeah, no, the rates are skyrocketing right now, and bonds are just taking an absolute hit. Yes, like you said, it's very important that we get on top of this as soon as we can. It's very urgent. I'd hate for people to kind of come in 2 months from now and talk with me and be like, hey, I already lost 30% of my money. Making sure we're proactive there. But also, with the rates rising, that means Northwestern Mutual, all of our policy owners, we're giving out a higher dividend. We correlate directly with when we raise the interest rates of the government, our dividend with Northwestern Mutual actually increases. So all of our policy owners are actually going to get a bigger payout these next couple years due to this. And that's just more things I can educate you on. But first off, we want to make sure we get that 401k allocated, get that squared away. Once we do that, we can continue the conversation around more financial planning and seeing if there's other ways we can be a resource for you, helping you be more tax strategized. As we all know, Uncle Sam is just taking bigger slices of the pie year by year. So it's just making sure, hey, how do we give them the little slice of pie we possibly can?
Yeah, and of course, obviously, with the new quote-unquote Inflation Reduction Act, which was really just let's load up the IRS, very, very, very important to make sure you know what the tax liabilities are going to be, and talking with Joey longer term to help you minimize those things as well. So there's a lot going on, really, when you think about it's not just what's happening in the stock market. It's what's happening with interest rates. It's legislation that's being passed by the government as well. So they're really coming at us all over the place. You really need people can't do this alone. People that think they can do this alone usually end up in trouble.
Yeah, it's precisely what happens. I mean, there's just too much going on to where when you're working every day, you're working 8 to 10 hours a day, that you can't keep track with all this stuff. This is why we're here. We're here to help you and guide you through this. And just so you know, we're not fee-based planners. I don't charge per meeting. Meeting with us is completely free. And the thing is, like you said, the IRS, they hired like 80,000 new members. You know, they're really cracking down on people. And taxes are going to be a huge thing coming up. So just making sure, hey, are we tax strategizing the best way? Are we educated on certain vehicles that gives us that tax benefit? Are we taking advantage of those vehicles? I mean, there's so much we can go over and talk about, but really what we want to do is just do one thing at a time, step by step. That way we're slowly building this financial plan to set us up for our future. And I think it all starts with allocating your 401ks and taking a look at that and making sure we're set up in a good position.
All right. Anyone out there with a 401k, this is a no-brainer. Reach out to Joey. You can text him at that number. You can just say, hey, Joey, my name's Brian. Here's my number. Can you call me about my 401k? Or my name's Sheila. Joey, can you call me? I want to talk to you. You can just text them or call them. Joey, give us that number one more time.
Yeah, you can always reach me at my personal cell. My number is 602-909-9048. Again, that's 602-909-9048.
And like everything, just like with Patriot, everything you talk to Joey with, absolutely confidential. He doesn't share your information with anybody. He's not, out there trying to do some bait and switch or any of that other stuff. Northwestern Mutual, your reputation speaks for itself. There's a reason why Joey decided to work there. And the best thing that I like about it, he's going to make sure you've got a lot more money, which means I get the benefit because you'll be able to buy a lot more gold and silver as well. Joey, I know you're busy, brother. Thank you for joining us today. Anyone that's got a 401k, reach out today, 602-909-9048. And then when Jason and I come back, we've got a great special. It's an item where the premiums have been sky high on. We've got a huge super sale. Don't have a lot of it, but that's going to be coming up next. And then, of course, we'll talk obviously more about other economic reports that have come out today. Big news out of the ECB last night about cash. So this is another update as we march towards this digital currency. The ECB letting it be known, not only is it coming, they're calling it the only solution. So, Jason, that's going to be coming up next. That's another reason. Listen, get your financial house in order, right, Jason?
Absolutely, absolutely. Joe uses the services of Joey Jaquint. I have a situation where I'm kind of waiting for the right time. I'm going to be using him, but just not today. And that's why you need to call him, because you may be, just like in Joe's situation, you need to use him now. You could be in the Jason situation where there's the right time and place. So it'd be a good idea to give him a call, Joe.
Patriot Radio News Hour. We're going to be right back. Welcome back. Patriot Radio News Hour, 800-951-0592. Man, when it rains, it pours. I've got two specials now. Just as we were on the break, I just got another offer. So I've got two different offers. Both of them are really good. The problem is I don't have a lot. Let's start with the one that I got earlier today. I've got 40 $10 liberties. And these liberties, and Jason will tell you, the $10 lib premiums are really expensive. As a lot of people, listen, this is where we're at. A lot of people are like, man, those 20s are expensive. I can only afford to get the 10s. $10 liberty right now, $1,130. But I've got 40, and these are XFs. So this is, for those of you that don't know, an XF, that's one grade below AU. So these are even nicer than the nice stuff we normally have, but it's all about price. $1,095. So you're going to save $35 a coin, which is huge. And, Jason, get a little better quality to boot.
Absolutely, Joe, absolutely. The $10 liberties are, anytime you get fractional gold, anything below the ounce. I mean, obviously, if you got big, huge pockets full of money, go buy some big, huge gold bar, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you get the lowest premium. But it's all about getting the best price for the amount of gold you're getting. Maybe you pay a higher price for the half-ounce coin, but when you sell it back to Patriot, you get a little bit more bite when you sell it back. So you don't really lose or gain anything. So when you have it, the fractional gold like today, the $10 liberty, and we can cut that price. This is why you want to get the smaller gold. I mean, let's face it. If you get into a jam, but you need to sell a little gold to pay something. If you don't have to sell that $20 liberty, you got a 10 sitting there. You can go do that. So there's a lot of advantages. And at $10.95. I was on the phone with Joe, got a hold of this deal today. It was an automatic. It took him about 15 seconds to do a few numbers and say, like, book him, get him in here. so we got him.
It was funny. We were actually talking before the show when that one came up. So here's the problem. I only got 40 of them. This price, it's not touchable right now. The $10 liberty market is very shallow. There's just not a lot of product out there, which is why premiums are up there. And then I just got this offer, $20 Saints. $20 Saints at $2,095. So you're going to save $30 on those Saints. $35 on the $10 liberties. You can mix and match them however you want to do it. We've got 40 $10 liberties at $1,095. This is the first time in a long time that a $10 lib's been below $1,100. Like I said, a regular price is $1,130. So $1,095 today on those. And then I got 25 Saints. Saints, they're just a little harder to get, Jason. They didn't mint as many, and they were newer at the time of gold confiscation, so a lot of them got melted down. But a lot of people think that design is a little more majestic, if you will. We've got 25 of those Saints at 2,095.
Yeah, let's face it, the coin came out, and then there was a market crash in 1907. So a lot of those newly minted coins weren't really coming out of the banks. They were just sitting there because, people were having trouble financially that year. And then they only minted them until 1933. So there's a few of them out there. So when it came to confiscation, of course, the banks gave up their supply first. So less made and went to the smelters first. So it's cool coin to get, Joe. Really cool coin to get.
Cool coins to get, absolutely. If you've never done business with us, we're not like any other gold dealer out there. No bait and switch. We don't play games. We actually want you to buy what we have on sale. I mean, that's unheard of in most of these gold places. They're always trying to run something on you. We don't share our data with anybody. We don't sell the data to anybody. We don't call our clients. You order today, and you could order one coin. You could order 1,000 coins. Well, not of the special, but you could order the entire special, if you will. You won't hear from us unless you call us again. Privacy is one of the things that we pride ourselves in out there. So if you're a new caller, new listener, all you got to do, call the 800 number, and then just tell the girls I want the special. That's it. And today they'll ask you the $10 one or the St. Gaudens one. You tell them, hey, I want both. I want one of each. I want two of each. I want just the 10s, or I want just the Saints. It's just that simple. We have an office here in Phoenix. We have another office there in Colorado. If you want us to ship product, it's just $35. Shipping's $35. So if you order 10 10s as an example, add $35 for the shipping. We do almost all of our shipping FedEx. We can do post office, UPS, but most of our gold we ship FedEx to you. You do have to sign for it. When you place the order, we give you a trade number. That locks you in. The second you get off the phone, gold could go up $100, and we don't call you back and say, hey, you got to pay more. Conversely, if it goes down, you don't get to pay less. You're locked in. I'm locked in. You can mail us a check. You can pay for it when you pick it up. You can put it on a credit card. We charge only 2% on credit cards. Everybody else out there is charging 3 and 4%. We charge 2% on credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. So you can do it any way you want. Bank wires, we've got it all. 800-951-0592. Big news out of Europe. Obviously, the euro just fell below the dollar. I think the euro is going much lower as well. But in regards to the central bank digital currency, the ECB came out and said that is the only solution to continue the existing monetary system. This was a paper released by the ECB. Jason, this leaves no doubt. They just basically told everybody, hey, this is the only solution for this monetary system, period.
Yeah, I think that's pretty, to us, paying attention to it's pretty obvious to us. Obviously, the greater world isn't really paying attention, but that's their great economic reset. That's going to be a part of the plan. We don't know for sure, Joe and I, exactly how it's getting there, but it's getting there. We may not have the timeline exactly right. We may not know the exact plan, but that's why you listen to this show, because as we get more information, we can make a better observation of what's going to happen, Joe. Digital currency coming.
And I'm going to tell you, isn't it amazing? The bigger the crisis starts to get, the more and more we start hearing, whether it's our central bank, the ECB, the Bank of Japan, the Chinese National Bank. Everybody now, they were crawling towards that digital currency. Then they were walking toward it. The ECB today, we're running to it. I'll tell you more about it and how you can read about it for yourself when we get back. 800-951-0592. The debt is going to get bigger. It appears that, I'm assuming through executive action here, President Joe Biden just announcing he is going through with student loan forgiveness, what we talked about yesterday, up to $10,000 going to be canceled on the student loans if you're making $125,000 or less, or if you're married, it could be $250,000 combined. $20,000 if you went to college on Pell Grants. $10,000 if it wasn't a Pell Grant. $20,000 if it was. And Jason, by the way, don't worry about paying back your student loan starting next week. They have extended that till now to the end of the year, so that way you don't have to worry about your midterm votes here. The Democrats saying that no student loan payments now to the end of the year. That is the 7th extension since COVID started. They did say, now we'll take it with a grain of salt. We'll see here. The administration did say that that will be the final extension. After that, everyone's got to start paying their student loans in January, Jason.
I don't know. All this talk makes me feel like I should run out and get me a school loan real quick so I can get it.
Let me tell you right now, I don't have any, but if I was, why pay? Just keep waiting, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Eventually, they'll just keep forgiving it. Again, sets another great example. Reward the failure. Everybody that's paid their student loans and done the right thing just tells you, don't let a good crisis go to waste. That's going to blow up the debt anywhere. Remember yesterday, $300 billion to $1 trillion. You do the math, right? Why do I got a feeling it's going to be that trillion? Get your gold put away. $10 liberties. These are 1 grade below AU. $1,095. That is $35 off, and that's off of our circulated one. So you're going to get a better grade and for a whole lot less. And then, of course, the St. Gaudens at $2,095. So you got a couple of choices there. 800-951-0592. The ECB came out with their recently. They just published their paper. The economics of central bank digital currency. So if you want to Google that, the economics of central bank digital currency, I'll just give you the highlights in it. A digital euro will be the only solution to facilitate a smooth continuation of the present monetary system. Now remember, this is going to come with bail-ins. This is why, get your money out of the damn bank. I keep telling you this. Put it into gold, put it into silver. If you don't do that, at least call Joey. Get it somewhere that is not in these bank accounts, because that's where the bail-ins are going to happen. Here's what they said about cash. $50 bills, $100 bills, $20 bills. Cash is losing its appeal as an efficient means of payment. The central bank digital currency is a necessary tool to install. They go on to say that ultimately cash possesses large economic cost without any benefits. Yep, there's no clear benefits to cash. Large cost, what we get no benefit. Privacy primarily. So it is by construction not fit for the digital age, and essentially the ECB throwing down the gauntlet, letting you know cash is no longer fit, Jason. This is a digital age, and you're going to lose it. Yep, so no more cash under the mattress. All of that emergency funds, all of those things, Jason, it's all going away. And, of course, we've been warning you about this. And, again, like I said, think about this. We started crawling to this digital money after the financial crisis. I would say we've been walking towards it since COVID shutdowns. And it appears now, Jason, we're flat out running to this now, as all of a sudden we're stuck in this horrible inflationary cycle.
I agree, Joe. This guy making the statements kind of sounds like somebody told him kind of the lowdown on how all this is going to go down, how it's going to work to fix your problem. And they said, by the way, the biggest enemy of us getting this put together is people's, their obsessive behavior towards this physical cash thing. So if you really want to get us to fix things, start getting people to not like cash. Start propagandizing the horrible nature of cash and get rid of it.
Right. I mean, come on. They've been doing that since 9/11, right?
Right. But when it comes to this new fix to because we know the problems are going to get more severe in the coming months and the coming years. And so the beating the drum, remember, you have to have an enemy. And sometimes the enemy is standing in the way of the cure, if you're standing in their shoes. So that's going to be cash. Cash is going to be the big obstacle in the way of fixing everything, Joe.
Yeah, and again, obviously the civil forfeiture laws. How many times have we heard people being having their money confiscated for no reason other than, well, you just got a large amount of cash here. We're going to take it until you can prove otherwise, and then, of course, making it almost impossible to do it to get your money back. And this is just another step here. The ECB saying that the digital currency is the only solution. Cash has no benefits to them. And let's face it, it's just not fit for the digital age. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Half the 10's already gone. $10. These are XF, extra fines. This is one grade below AU. A huge saving, $35 off. The first time in a couple of years probably that we've had a $10 gold piece for below $1,100, $1,095. Then we've got some Saints left as well. They're not sold out yet. We had only 25 of them. They're at $2,095 at 800-951-0592. Gold's up 1753 right now. Silver's at $19. The Dow's up almost 200 points now, mostly because of the delay on student loan payments. So, student loan forgiveness. Oh, by the way, no one has to pay their student loans in September. Going to go through the end of December. But that's the last time, Jason. This is it.
Yeah.
It's only the seventh time, but this is the last time.
Yeah. You know me, Joe, at this point, I don't believe anything they say anyways.
I'm going to say this right now. That's at least one more rate hike, at least, just because of that.
Right.
One of the things, if you wanted to really help inflation right now, make those student loan payments be made starting next week. Because that, I hate to say it, but let's face it, okay, that's $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month less people would have in their pockets.
Well, Joe, you got to remember also we have an inflation problem. Too much money is in the system, and we are in a debt money system. So every time somebody pays down principal on a loan, it actually destroys money supply, which brings down inflation. So if a year ago they started making these student loan payments made by the kids or the people that could actually make them, it actually would have cooled some of the inflation because we're in a ridiculous money system. Our economic system is a debt money system. Paying down principal on debt lowers the amount of money in supply, Joe.
Yeah, it's just that simple. 800-951-0592. And again, we just follow what's happening here. The ECB, their major paper on the new digital currency. And listen, I'll give them a kudos for telling the truth, which is, hey, this is the only way. This is how the bankers look at this. The digital currency is the only solution. Cash is not fit. And look, you heard them say it. Hey, first of all, cash costs more, right? You got to mint it, right? You got to make $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 bills. There's a cost to that. Where digital currency, we just clickety-clack the keyboard. So not only is there a cost to cash, there's no benefit. That's how the bankers view cash. There is no benefit We need to know exactly what you're buying and be able to track everything that you purchase. And, of course, remember, ESG is coming, all these things. It's going to be ridiculous, the amount of freedoms we're going to lose with this digital currency, Jason.
And it'll happen. It like Joe said, slowly at first and then suddenly all at once. I mean, Canada, people don't understand this. Canada got rid of their penny in 2013. They're coming up on 10 years with no pennies. They just round to the nickel. It won't be too long before they round to the dime, and then they'll just get rid of coins altogether. So that's something to watch. It's funny, if you look at what goes on with coins, especially how they make coins and what's on the coins, they're letting you know the powers that be what they really think of the population, Joe. It's an abysmal situation, and of course we're heading towards digital currency. We got coins to buy, Joe. We got the real coins that you want to possess, Joe.
That's exactly right. 800-951-0592.